I forgot what day of the week it is. What is this?
It's Wednesday.
Oh, hey, Wednesday is the day. Mm-hmm. They call it hump day.
You do this every time.
I don't know if you know that. Do you know that? You call it hump day?
Nobody knows that.
Nobody knows that. It's a little secret that between just me and I think I heard it from like the big guy, Donald Trump. I think he told me. Bobo's here. What's going on, Bobo? It's so good to see you as always. And so is Delicate, who throws me off with evil number one. Our scientist is here, which is so good to see her. Archival Raccoon is in the house. I'm having a nice hot tea. This would be my 191st tea with you guys.
You're counting your teas? That's like the most OCD thing I've ever heard you do.
Well, it's the 191st recorded episode.
Oh, there wasn't a single time where you didn't have some tea while you were spilling the tea with everybody?
So when I thought about it, I was like, what's a more, fun way to say that?
Yeah.
See how I do that? Mm-hmm. Very creative.
Very creative, yeah.
Got to be very creative. You can still feel the astrology happening, but I can kind of feel there was a lot of tension around that conjunction, and now I can kind of feel Mars separating from Pluto right now. I can. I just feel it kind of coming off, and it was an explosive. It was an explosive conjunction. Like some friends went through some things.
Yes.
So for some people, they got fed it right around when those planets fucking came together.
Yeah.
Explosive endings, explosive beginnings.
An amazing astrologer named Ren Butler wrote a book where he describes all of the archetypal meaning and mythological connotations to all of the planetary.
We'll have to bring the book on here and just show them it.
Yeah, the book is called The Archetypal Universe.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way he describes Mars-Pluto conjunctions in astrology is pyrocatharsis.
Pyrocatharsis.
Yes,
Can you fucking that is so loaded.
It's like wow. It's like transformation by fire.
Yeah.
Like Phoenix from the ashes type shit.
Yeah, or nuclear fucking
like total destruction.
Waste.
Right.
So I was feeling that kind of tension. I was feeling all that these last few days, and
the rest of the week is like this.
Oh no, I know it's tough. I mean, it's only Mars is only a degree out from Pluto at the moment or thereabouts, and but still, I can still feel that the smack has happened, and there's still going to be some repercussions or tremors or whatever, aftershocks.
The reason why the astrologers are saying that February is also very dicey.
Yeah.
And something to anticipate with a lot of surprises is because this whole parade of planets that's going through Aquarius is going to make a square aspect, which is a harsh aspect, an incendiary aspect.
Yeah, it's conflicting
with the planet Uranus.
Yeah.
And Uranus is known as like the Promethean revolutionary breakthroughs kind of influence.
But it can be breakthroughs through things like violence, or it can be breakthroughs through just conflict.
It's expect surprises the entire month of February as all of these planets just kind of scoot through a square to Uranus. I'm already exhausted.
I know. Bobo said apparently we had a 4.1 earthquake in Ontario.
No way.
They call it, California, they call it a wiggle.
Does Ontario?
They had a wiggle. No, they don't. They don't call it a wiggle.
No, they don't.
No one's ever called it that.
No.
What if I said that and then Bobo was like, we had a wiggle. I set her up.
I don't think that Californians should have a name for all the different Richter scale points.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they? I feel like that's
I've been
a
through
failure.
a few in the 4.1 range.
Yeah, I recall one that was nearby where I lived that was 4 point whatever.
Issues. Well, every time it goes up, it's whatever it is, double.
Exponential, yeah.
It's an exponential growth.
But the 4 feels like if you're sitting on a couch and somebody kicks it real hard, that's what it feels like. But it usually isn't prolonged.
I remember a 5.6 or so that I was close to the epicenter of. It was in Northridge 5.6.
5.6. Well, that's much bigger.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it smacked.
You said that very Canadian.
It shook.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was fucking violent.
Yeah.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
But I was near the epicenter of it, and because the closer you are, the more violent it is, the more abrupt it is, the louder it is. For example, They had that one in Bakersfield that was like a 7.5, like near Bakersfield. That was like a 7.5. I can't remember what year this was. But my apartment in Studio City, it became like, it just started wobbling like wildly. It tossed us around, but not in a violent way. It was more like that's kind of fun. It wasn't. We weren't having fun.
Not fun.
But it was not violent, and it was like we were rolling.
I experienced one of those when I was waiting tables at the Coral Cafe in Burbank.
Erica's here.
Know. Very much, which is one of the reasons why I relate to Don's Plum so much, is because I was basically like, that was my job.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was waiting tables, and I think we got like a 5, maybe 5.2 or something, but the entire restaurant just like shifted, like as if the car we were in just came to an abrupt stop, like a brakes. Like when you're kind of maybe rolling but stopped, and then somebody hits the brakes. The whole restaurant did that.
Yeah.
Fucking everyone screamed.
Well, hopefully it stops at a 4.1. In Ontario, because earthquakes, no. Earthquakes, no.
I feel like as what is it?
The
Natural disasters go.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the nicest.
They are not. You have convinced yourself of something that you have not yet lived through.
No, but do you think that earthquakes are worse than tornadoes or hurricanes?
They certainly can be. It depends
or
on
landslides.
It depends.
Like
one can
floods?
be worse than the other depending on the the
severity.
Extreme, the severity. Manderley is here, and how do I say that? Is it Cadra? Cadra. I'm gonna go with Cadra. Cadra.
That's a very cool name if you're pronouncing it.
Cadra. Right. Cadra. Yeah, I like it very much. Archival Raccoon is here. Erica, I think I already said, but hello, Erica. It's good to see you. Deanne is in the house. Deanne. She's in the house.
Scientist said Cadra. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Said, so glad we didn't scare you off yesterday. And Cadra responded, haha, you guys could never. Only the Baldoni bots have the power to do that.
Yeah, Cadra's back. Well, she said she's been lurking. She's a lurker. Not gone. She's come out. She's come out of the lurk. Out of the dark. Is the lurk? Is that a thing?
Come out of the lurk?
Yeah.
No, but it should be.
I like it.
You can keep that one.
Mine.
You said evil number is delicate?
I believe so. Isn't it not? Delicate, identify yourself. Say, it's me, please.
Anyway, evil number 1 said, earthquakes, no, because of retrofitting, but it is the tsunamis that cause the damage these days. Oh, from earthquakes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Said, keep going. I like the way you guys pronounce it.
Really?
Yes, I guess we're wrong.
We're pronouncing it Cadra?
Yeah.
Is it Cadra? Cadra.
Damn it! If you want to type it phonetically, I'll get it right.
Of course. Give us the phonetics.
Erica Rydholm said, I've been in a bit of an internet break for my mental health for the last few days.
Yeah.
This is wise. There's like a balance between like, are you doing avoidance, or are you taking a break so you don't burn out? And I think that it's worth recognizing that we as human beings are not meant to like have like a fire hose of negative stories, pummeled through our eyeballs every minute of every day.
It gets pretty exhausting.
Like, I don't think that any generation before us has ever had to experience exactly what we experience through social media, and it's not good or healthy.
Well, the weirdest part about it is that not only do we have like, this unprecedented exposure to it all,
yeah,
but that it's also at this like fever pitch of activity.
Right.
Although I will say, actually, I won't, because it was reported that murders were down, but they're actually now just back to where they were pre-pandemic, because I didn't know this, but during the pandemic, murders shot all the way up.
During the pandemic. That's funny that you say that.
No, I'm playing. I'm not. Don't play with me. Don't you play with me.
That's funny. I think it's like, yes, taking a social media break is super, super healthy. The thing that I found that is very helpful? I have been reading a lot of books written by leaders of the Black liberation movement. Most of these people became, were writing their books in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And they had been through the worst treatment by the government that one can imagine, by the American government, right? And a lot of them have really sort of explained that none of this that we're witnessing is anything new, which I actually find comforting. And also, a lot of them have figured out what the government's forces' weaknesses are and how easy they are to exploit.
I feel like it is fairly new.
Which I also find comforting. And that there is immense power in building community, and that actually is very effective in keeping people safe. And so I just feel like those are becoming like my little North Stars throughout this whole thing. I feel like, yes, it's important to know about what horrors are happening in our country. Mm-hmm. But it's also super important to learn from people who have been through this before in our country and other countries, and recognize that this is something that people do know how to navigate, and that we can learn how to navigate it too.
It's the new to me situation. It's new to me.
Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency said...
It's still very stressful.
Cosmic Urgency said that the algorithm thinks that this is a Blake Lively dedicated account. And he said that's very annoying. I don't believe that's true. I think that they know that we're putting out Blake Lively relevant material at this time.
This suits me fine, because here we are having a conversation about political whatever, and I would love it if the algorithm didn't figure that out. I want to fly low. I think that's great.
Yeah, I'd rather be. It's interesting. I'd rather be. As current events go.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be pissing around with this shit than being in deep with MAGA and whatever else coming. I mean, we get our dose of that as well. But.
I think one thing that is really new about this roll around in a new American Revolution, however that ends up manifesting, is that we are dealing with surveillance worse than it's ever been.
Sure.
And so I feel like, as people who are trying to talk to people on the internet and have our faces out there, and it's a little bit harder to navigate because it's all brand new territory. But I'm fine with people not recognizing us as a political podcast. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I know, but I know where Cosmic's coming from, because obviously we committed a long time ago to cover this trial, and we're covering it from top to bottom, soup to nuts, all that stuff, and we're going to just do it. And as far as what the channel ends up being, I mean, hopefully we'll be growing with people like you, Cosmic, and with a scientist. And I doubt that the friends that we've been making along the way, Melissa Jane, are people that are just going to disappear because the topic changes. In fact, I know that's not true, because when the topic does change, they're here. And we hang out and we talk.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think that
grateful.
I think that, and look, remember, we're not growing at some exponential rate. And a part of what scares me about that in the first place is that if you are growing at some crazy rate, how are you getting it? If we were growing, I would actually tend to agree with you if we were growing at some fantastic rate, and it was all just centered on this trial in the same way that Popcorn Planet grew off of Amber Benson trial.
Amber Heard.
Yeah. Amber Benson didn't have a trial. She doesn't have a trial. She's a good person. Not that Amber Heard isn't. I'm not arguing that with anybody. That is not my issue.
You're saying that our growth could potentially be...
What I'm saying is that because we're not sitting here and just growing at some fucking crazy rate, we're not a Blake Lively anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. The algorithm doesn't think anything.
No, the algorithm I don't think the algorithm knows what the fuck we are. I think they're like, what the fuck? They're talking about whales.
That's right.
Then they're talking about Baldoni and Lively like everybody else. And then they're talking about the Oscars. And then they're talking about...
Dale keeps talking about growing teeth in Japan.
Growing teeth in Japan. Humans growing teeth.
Who knows?
Oh, they're saying it's annoying. Oh, what they're saying is...
Cosmic Urgency said it's annoying for me because I hate Blake crap because I watch you guys. Oh, I get Blake crap because I watch you guys.
Well, that does make sense. All I can tell you is that I'm a dirty, dirty boy. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm awful. I'm horrible. I've ruined your algorithm. Your algorithm. I was trying to say I was contaminated or something, but
no, it's true. I watched one video of Kirsty Flaws, and then my feed on YouTube was the worst for weeks. I had to abstain from participating in any other pro Baldoni stuff.
I don't really pay attention to my feed very much on YouTube.
No,
YouTube to me is very much a query based entertainment.
You only watch what you seek.
I go seeking what I want from it. I don't ask it to give me anything.
Well, I guess you're better than the rest of us.
No, it's just that we all use it differently. It's just something I've never gotten into my feed ever. Isn't that weird? But I never oh, that looks good ever once. Well, it's probably happened once, because I got a little guitar in there. Yeah. But we also create a lot of this content, so I had to turn off Popcorn Planet, which, I unfollowed him because fuck that guy. But then on top of that, when I was following him, I was getting some shit too. So you ain't kidding. Just Junk Farm talking a little bit about my Facebook is constantly California sucks with unhinged new scum posts.
Oh, new scum?
Yeah.
That's really funny. Those people that post about Gavin Newsom with all these trying to transform his name like Trump does, and they hate him so much.
Yeah.
They're going to be very surprised to find that the left also very much hates him.
Yeah. Well, the hardest thing about being
going to be strange bedfellows.
The hardest thing about being a politician, which I think is equally shared with the hardest thing about being a voter, is that there are very few, and by few I mean rare, politicians, candidates that truly satisfy a voter. There are some that I guess there are levels of that. But I think for the most part, most voters can't be truly sated by a single politician. There's something about, they might be on the right. Like I remember when Obama started, I was like, oh, Obama, this is going to be great.
Oh my God. And then we woke up.
Hope.
Holy shit.
And then the shit happened. And then you're like, what the fuck, bro? You had the fucking Congress, you had the Senate, you had the presidency, and you didn't do shit.
Well, we don't have to talk about it.
Well, I was just saying, it's just the way it goes. It's just and then there's Guantanamo. Don't even get me started with Guantanamo and the drones and everything else. But look, the point being that it's very difficult to find a politician that has that checks all the boxes. It's just so fucking difficult. And especially now when we're in a world where where the oligarchs can buy these fuckers anyway.
I know. I kind of wish that there was some billionaires that would just go buying politicians, because I think that would be the easiest way to make a difference.
My jaw dropped when
if they're for sale, just purchase a few of them and make them do your bidding and have it be good.
It's weird because that's what I think about with billionaires. It's who say they want to give back or whatever, then go buy houses and give them to people. Go buy houses. And go find single mothers, go find people who are fucking seniors, go find people who need houses and give them to them. Just go buy houses. And instead of fucking renting them out, give them out. Give them out. Make people live in them. You have billions of dollars. You can wake up in the morning and go, okay, buy 100 houses today and put out people in them. Just find people and put them in the fucking houses. That's all you got to do today. That's your job. Fucking hire people. Here's your job. Go fucking buy houses. You go buy houses. You go find people to put in houses. And for that, everybody gets a house.
Why are you shouting?
Because I'm a billionaire and I'm verbose. Okay. Do you want to talk? You want to switch modes and get into the cosmic urgency topic of the century?
Well, we had planned to look at more of the Justin Baldoni deposition today.
We're gonna finish that shit. That's what's on the.
Oh, we're not gonna finish it today.
Well, we're gonna read that shit till it's finished, and today is the day that continues.
Yeah. So shall I?
Yes, please.
Jump in?
Yeah, we've been 18 minutes talking bullshit because I'm just rambling.
Okay.
See, I'm just trying to fuck with the algorithm a little bit. Cosmic urgency.
Yeah, I know. He posed a problem for us. Okay.
Dale, more words than money, says Matt. It's very true.
So we left off when they were taking a break. But
it's a long break.
It was a long break. That's true. Okay, so but she's not through with her line of questioning. This is Miss Shaw. Again, she is representing Stephanie Jones for the Jones Works lawsuit. And she is questioning Justin Baldoni about that. But the reason why we're looking through it is because she's exposing a lot of stuff that has to do with the Blake Lively lawsuit, too. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Shaw, the attorney for Stephanie Jones, says, before the break, we were talking about a scenario planning document that you had received from TAG. Do you recall that? She's going to rephrase. Before the break, we were talking about a scenario planning document that you received from TAG. He said yes. Do you recall whether you ever received more than one version of that scenario planning document? He said, I don't. Do you recall whether it was updated or revised at any point? Baldoni says, I don't. Okay, to your best recollection, you only recall seeing one version of the scenario planning document. Is that correct? He says yes. Do you remember that you didn't see any other versions, or that you just don't remember one way or the other? And he says, I don't believe I saw a second version. I'm surprised that there was only one objection here. I'm surprised that they weren't like asked and answered, right? Okay. After you were provided
Part of it is like, go ahead and burn your time. But yeah, even objecting burns time. So
right, that's true. After you were provided with the scenario planning document, describe for me the series of events to your recollection in terms of how you came to hire Tag. He's asking for her to rephrase the question. At some point after you received the scenario planning document for Tag, you ultimately hired Tag, right? He said the company did, yes.
Yeah, he keeps talking like that.
I know.
Like he's not the fucking chairman of the board.
Like he's not the company. Steve Sarowitz says that he didn't make the decision. So I guess that's Jamie Heath? The company?
It's either him or the
company didn't.
It doesn't matter.
He is
the company.
I know. It's weird. Okay, question. Is it your testimony that Wayfarer hired Tag? He said, yes, I believe so. And Ms. Shaw says, do you have an understanding of whether you personally also hired Tag? And he said, I don't think I personally hired anyone. Okay, and when Wayfarer hired Tag, what was your understanding of what Tag was being brought on to do? Justin Baldoni said, my understanding was that Tag was being brought on to be crisis public relations representatives. Question. To your understanding, was Tag given any instructions by you or by Wayfarer in terms of how to proceed once you had hired them? He said, I believe so. I believe that Jamie was in communication with them.
With Tag.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what those instructions...
Scoots directly, I'm sure. It's like, yo, Scoots.
Oh, well, he's...
I got a problem. Can you give me a discount?
Yeah.
Come on, I put you on Man Enough
And
podcast. I expose you to hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, I'm sure he regrets it now. Okay, question. And do you know what those instructions were? Justin Baldoni says, I can only speak to the instructions that I gave Jamie or at any time spoke to Jen or on the calls, which was to plan and just to try to get good press out there for the movie.
That was Sony's job, fool.
Yeah, right.
That was Sony's job. That's literally why you had them.
He says that he gave instructions to Jamie about it, though. And that he says that he spoke to Jen at, or I guess Melissa Nathan's Tag. Okay, whatever. So he's trying to deflect, but he's admitting it. Okay. Question, how involved were you personally in discussing with anyone at Tag the type of PR strategy you all should be employing? He said, I don't know. I think I had ideas. I'm not sure how many conversations were happening versus what ideas I was sharing. I was kind of in and out. Question, do you have any recollection of any ideas that you had that you shared with Tag? And Justin Baldoni said, I mean, I really want to focus not just Tag, but also Jennifer Abel. I really wanted to focus, He said, I mean, I really wanted to focus, not just Tag, but also Jennifer Abel. I really wanted to focus on amplifying the voices of survivors. I wanted to focus on the DV. I wanted to focus on the movie and not all of this speculation and drama. Did you personally ever have any conversations with Stephanie Jones about the instructions that Wayfarer was giving Tag in terms of how to proceed? And Justin Baldoni said, I don't think I had any real conversations with Stephanie Jones outside of texting through July and August. Do you recall ever communicating with Stephanie Jones, whether on text or in conversation, about the instructions that Wayfarer had given Tag about how to proceed? And Justin Baldoni says, I don't believe so. My memory of texts with Stephanie Jones were focused on letting her know that I was not a part of this decision to hire anybody. I wanted to stay out of it. It was too much for me. And I know she sent me...
what a fucking... You're running a business. You're running a business.
It was too much for him.
You're literally the fucking head of the company. Get out of it, dude. You can't handle anything, bro.
We know it was too much for him.
This guy can't handle anything. Get the fuck out of the business, bro. You can't handle it. You need to be surfing or whatever it is that you like to do. And I'm not ridiculing that. Hey, dude, be a fucking flower. It's cool. Be delicate. Not delicate. Delicate.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's cool. It's not even a ridicule, but it's why are you putting yourself in a situation where you have to be able to not only endure a high pressure situations, but think clearly through them. Every fucking thing is an emergency when you're living at the level that he was trying to live at. Everything is an emergency at all times. You just kind of have to live that way,
He started a film production company. That is that's a major business. There's a lot of money.
And he's the fucking head of it.
Every single thing you do in that business.
He's the fucking head of it. And he's sitting there fucking, it was all too much for you? You're the boss.
Yeah, I mean, it would also be too much for me, but at least I know that before.
Well,
I
if
get
you
into
wonder
it.
why it's crumbling all around you,
Yeah,
it's because
right.
you're the people who are supposed to lead it can't handle it.
Amazing. Okay, so his answer is, I don't believe so. My memory of texts with Stephanie Jones were focused on letting her know that I was not a part of the decision to hire anybody. I wanted to stay out of it. It was too much for me. And I know she sent me a really beautiful message of love and support before the premiere. That's my memory of talking with Stephanie. He also says, I think she was on vacation somewhere. Question, do you have any understanding of whether anyone at Wayfair had any communications, texts, conversations with Stephanie Jones about what Wayfair was instructing Tag to do as crisis PR? He said, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to show you a document marked Exhibit 17. It's a text thread between Henny Grace, who is you, Jennifer Abel, Justin Baldoni, I think that's it. So this looks like a text thread between you and Jennifer Abel. He goes, on August 5th, 2024. So it is the week of the premiere, prior to the premiere. Okay, and Jennifer Abel, do you recall... she says, do you recall this text thread? He said, vaguely, but I know this was in the New York Times from what I was told. Did you ever read the New York Times article? He said, I did not. How did you come to learn about it? He said, the New York Times article? She said, Baldoni says, I would say it felt like minutes after I received an email from who I believe was Mr. Gottlieb. I got an email from the New York Times saying they were running a story the next morning. And then the next morning, there were quite a lot of text messages from people worried about me and concerned. So that's how I learned about it.
Justin, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my God, I'm praying for you, Justin. Are you okay? Oh my God, I'm praying for you. I can't. Did you read this shit? Oh my God, what did you do?
Well, what's weird is he says that he got an email from Gottlieb, who obviously looks like an attorney on an email. And then he got an email from the New York Times. But then he's saying that he learned about it through text messages in the morning. He didn't open those emails? That seems unprofessional. Okay. Question. If you never read the New York Times article, do you have any basis to say whether or not anything contained in it was true or untrue? Very good question. Baldoni says, my understanding of the New York Times article was that it was taken from the CRD complaint. And it was never, and I was never interviewed or asked for my opinion or my side of the story. So from the few sentences...
Well, that's not true.
So from this... I know, he just said he got an email. So from the few sentences and headline, that's what I was able to gather. That's all he knows. Ms. Shaw asks, what was what you were able to gather? And he said that the information they got was from Ms. Lively's CRD complaint, but not from anything that came from me or my side of the story, which, and I would very much disagree with the things that Ms. Lively put in her CRD complaint as being untrue. Okay, but sitting here today, can you think of a statement or portion of the New York Times article itself that you can identify as being true or untrue? And he said, I believe the New York Times article insinuated that I had launched a smear campaign against Miss Lively, which is completely untrue. I believe it said that I sexually harassed Miss Lively, which is also very untrue. So there's two untrue statements. Ms. Shaw says, apart from those two statements or concepts, as contained in the New York Times article, is there anything else that was contained in the New York Times article that, sitting here today, you can identify as true or untrue? And Baldoni says, I would be happy to read it while we're sitting together and go through all the things.
You never thought to read the fucking article that was the crux of this whole damn thing?
Not
at all?
Not prior to your deposition?
Even prior to your deposition?
Yeah.
I can read it now? Well, you'd love to do that, wouldn't you? Let's take the time of the court, reporters and the fucking...
Okay, he said, I would be happy to read it while we're sitting together and go through all the things that I feel are untrue, but I don't know that that would be the best use of our time. Ms. Shaw says, I agree with you, it would not be. So based on what you know about it to date, can you identify any other statement or portion of that article that you identify as true or untrue? And Baldoni says, I can't comment on the rest of the article at this time. And Ms. Shaw says, because you don't know what it said? And he says, because I need to go through it to tell you what I think is true and untrue. And she says, okay. If you look at the document,
Wow, that's just weird, bro. You're literally in a fight over an article that is a part of the
multi-million-dollar lawsuits that he has filed in court, and he doesn't even know what it says.
Well, and he's literally asserting, or did assert, that the whole thing was started because of the fucking New York Times article.
He sued the New York Times for defamation, he doesn't know what they said about him.
Point.
He doesn't know what they said that was defamatory.
That's a great point.
How? God, they just like took his money. It's crazy to me. Okay.
They just took his money. He was sitting there going like this.
Even when you have your interview with the lawyer where the lawyer's okay, let's figure out what your case is. He can't tell them because he never read the article. When he sued the New York Times, he literally did not know what they'd said.
No, and they sent it to him. They said, we are running this.
Right.
Please respond.
They asked him for comment, and he says they never asked for comment. Okay, well, I'm not surprised. This guy is not with us. He's not in reality. I don't understand what's happening. Okay. Ms. Shaw says, if you look at the document, Jennifer Abel starts by saying, in quotes, okay?
Yes.
She's quoting, Sony is having a hard time with the word friction. They think it would be taken out as clickbait. Do you see that? And he said, yes. Do you have an understanding as to what she was referring to there? Justin Baldoni says, I believe I do. What is that understanding? Baldoni says, I believe in an interview I spoke that every set has friction, but oftentimes that friction ends up being something that is great for the film, and I think that's what she was referring to. Question, and did you understand that Sony did not like the use of the word friction? And Baldoni says, I believe that's what Miss Abel was telling me in this text. Okay, did you have an understanding around this time that Sony had any other disagreements with things that you had said in interviews promoting the film? Baldoni says, I don't know about...
Well, was that one where I said that I
tried to force the love out of her.
I don't want to say it, but I tried to force the love of
Atlas out of Lily.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying, but
this is Dallas Morning News.
I think they go like, I think it's
of all places.
Sign language is like this, is it? Is it like that?
Stop it, Dale. Stop. You're not helping. Okay. Did you have an understanding around this time that Sony had any other disagreements with things that you had said in interviews promoting the film?
He's so deep.
And Baldoni says, I don't know about disagreements. I know that there was always a conversation around how much of the film should be promoted, using the word survivor or talking about domestic violence. And that had been a multi-year conversation. Question, and you thought more of that content should be used in promoting the film, and Sony wanted less of that content to be used. Is that right? Baldoni said, Sony had initial apprehension about making it an issue movie. And I tried to explain to them that you cannot run from the fact that this is an issue movie.
Oh, Mr. fucking Justin Baldoni is going to tell Sony all about it.
How to market a film.
He's such a fucking moron. He doesn't understand that the fucking the domestic violence theme was something to be experienced.
Yes.
It wasn't something to be foretold.
If you don't market it as an issue movie, it doesn't make it not an issue movie.
No,
if you market it so that people get their butts in seats, they will experience your issue movie.
That's the whole point. Sony's whole thing is don't scare them away with, I don't want to fucking go watch some guy beating on some woman.
No, they go to the movies for a good time.
They go for a good time, dude.
Yeah.
Then when they show up and they get affected deeply by it, they come out of it and the conversation happens. You fucking moron. Wait, honestly, the guy just doesn't belong. He just doesn't belong because he can't even think things clearly enough. He doesn't understand anything, and he doesn't inquire clearly. Yeah. He doesn't sit down and say,
he's
why.
Sony Motion Picture Studio.
Fucking Sony Motion Picture Studio.
What did you say? Like 100-year-old studio?
104 years old.
International superpower in film distribution.
Yes. 10,000 employees.
And he doesn't think that maybe he could learn from them a little bit about how to market a movie?
It's the most bizarre thing in the world. It's the most bizarre thing in the world.
Okay.
I mean, not in the world, obviously, but in his world, in this situation, it's one of the more bizarre things of this situation. Really is.
This is interesting because the next line of questioning is similar to questioning that happened in your depositions in your lawsuit over Don Swan.
You just prepare me?
Yes.
Yeah, like grab your warm tea and get cozy.
Okay, so Baldoni's answer to this last question, I didn't finish. And the question was, and you thought more of that content should be used in promoting the film, and Sony wanted less of that, I guess, DV content to be used. Is that right? And Baldoni said, Sony had initial apprehension about making it an issue movie. And I tried to explain to them that you cannot run from the fact that this is an issue movie. And this was the very reason I was making the movie. And it would be a disservice to all the people whose lives were changed from the film for us to pretend like that's not what the movie's about.
Oh my God. I mean, just RNC this motherfucker,
Sony's
bro.
like, I mean, we hear you, but we know how to put on a movie. Okay. Ms. Shaw says, the next question is, did Sony have ultimate approval over the film's marketing plan? Does that rhyme for you?
Of course.
And Baldoni says, I need to know what you mean by approval. This is exactly what happened in Dale's lawsuit.
It literally raises my temperature. It really does. You don't know what the word
because
approval
they spent days
means.
trying to figure out and discern the definition of whether Leonardo DiCaprio had approval rights over the release
kill rights.
or kill rights over the release of Don's Club.
Kill rights. Nobody said that word ever.
Nobody
kill
gives
rights.
an actor.
Hey, Leo, you get kill rights. You understand me? Kill rights.
Yeah.
Stupidest thing I ever fucking heard.
Question, did Sony have ultimate approval over the film's marketing plan? And Baldoni says, I need to know what you mean by approval. Ms. Shaw says, was Sony deeply involved in conversations with Wayfarer and the cast about the film's marketing plan? And Baldoni says, I believe there were many conversations that Sony was having about the marketing plan. They were in charge of the marketing.
Were they?
Yeah, they were in charge of the marketing.
Were they in charge of the marketing?
They were the company that was paying for the marketing of the movie.
They were paying for the marketing. So that means that you literally brought them on board because it was his project.
Yeah.
So he literally brought them on board to do the thing that he's trying to tell them how to do.
Yeah, interesting how he doesn't talk about Blake Lively being in control of the marketing either. Interesting how it's only Sony in this conversation. They were in charge of the marketing. They were the company that was paying for the marketing of the movie.
I can't believe it. I can't, how can you put this into the Baldoni fans' heads so that they can see the truth? The truth is right there. It's something we've been obviously screaming about on this live for months and months and months and months.
He is just saying it very plainly.
He's saying it very fucking plainly.
For
very
reference,
succinctly.
for anybody that does want to put this in front of people's faces so that they understand that Blake Lively was not in control of the marketing. This is on page 263 in the document of Justin Baldoni's depositions. It's just...
That's the most... So, yes, now we know.
So he does understand.
That it's, now
Blake
it's been...
Lively's not
Exactly. He knows exactly what's going on. And he also knows, because he's been around, he himself has contributed to his own marketing, his own wardrobe. You think he didn't contribute to his own wardrobe on Jane the Virgin? In terms of decisions? Or about, I don't want to wear that, or this, I don't feel very comfortable in it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Of course he did, because everybody fucking does.
Because his pose fits.
Yeah.
And it's a contemporary piece. Okay, so, again... Baldoni says, I believe there were many conversations that Sony was having about the marketing plan. They were in charge of marketing. They were the company that was paying for the marketing of the movie. Question. Okay, then if you go back to this document, Jennifer Abel says, and she's quoting, they obviously don't know about our strategy, but let's stick to the words of challenge. Do you see that? He said, yes. What is your understanding of what she means when she says they obviously don't know about our strategy? Baldoni says, I think our strategy was to ensure that we were only saying positive things and not drawing any attention to what was...
You are a fucking liar. You are lying directly to that lawyer's face. We read the fucking texts.
No, she's going through them. I'm struggling.
You're a fucking liar. That's just a bold-faced lie. That's all that is.
You know what's funny is that I can't read any of his answers fully because... you argue with him.
That's a fucking lie. That's a lie.
It's like you're watching football or something.
He's fucking lying.
I love your enthusiasm. Let's hear what he has to say, actually. Okay, hang on. Okay.
Oh my... No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Question. What is your understanding of what she means when she says they obviously don't know about our strategy? And Baldoni says, I think our strategy was to ensure that we were only saying positive things and not drawing any attention to what was very clearly at the time an intentional plan to draw attention to friction, if you will. And she says, an intentional plan by whom? And he said, I can only imagine Miss Lively.
I can only imagine. Can you believe that answer?
No, but check this out. So the attorney,
Oh my God. 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 Oh my
so
God.
the attorney brings up the very most important text message from Justin Baldoni. Okay?
Yeah.
The one that I have been referencing from the very beginning.
Sure.
That I believe if this was the only piece of evidence, Blake Lively would still win her case.
Correct.
Okay?
It's just, it literally is, it's
So
not
check this
literally,
out.
it's figuratively the cutting of the jugular vein on this man. Because it's just.
Because he is a liar.
So I'm watching Traitors and it's all murder.
Okay, but listen.
Yeah.
Question. And then you send Miss Abel a text message where you say, in quotes, "This is what we would need." He says yes. And Miss Shaw says, and you attach a screenshot of a post about Hailey Bieber's history of bullying many women. Do
What
you see
the
that?
fuck is positive about that, dude?
Don't slam your...
You're right, I shouldn't do that. But oh my God. I just wanted to really put the emphasis on my anger.
No, but it's
or
probably
whatever.
in the mics.
Listen, I'm going to calm down right now. I'm going to talk softly. What is wrong with this crazy person?
Okay, so question. What did you mean by this is what we would need?
Oh, I'm just going to stretch something until it breaks.
I've been waiting for this testimony for like a year. Okay, so this is what Baldoni says, okay?
Yeah.
He says, so I believe at the time we were going through scenario planning, and like any plan, you have scenario A, scenario B, C, D. What if this happens, or this happens, or this happens? And I think I had seen this post, and I resonated with the word bullying.
Oh, you did you?
And I sent it to
The
Jen.
positivity of it must have rung this, like,
Yeah,
just
he wanted to stay positive. And I sent
streamed
it to,
through his veins.
And I sent it to Jen saying, in the event that Miss Lively came out and said lies about me, then we would need to come forward with the truth.
Which is that Hailey Bieber is a bully against women, according to that writer.
Right. The truth about Hailey Bieber, I guess?
What a fuck up.
Okay.
What a whole fuck.
Yeah.
This is.
He must have prepared how
This is
he's
going to
gonna
get in
answer.
front of a jury.
I know it is.
And this.
That's not an
is
explanation.
bad.
I know.
And he's not. This answer is fucking horrible. Bravo, man. Blake Lively must be just fucking. Oh, man, come on.
Okay, question. And was it your suggestion that you would come forward with allegations that Miss Lively was a bully?
Sir?
And Justin Baldoni says, it was my understanding that I would come forward with what my truth was, and I had felt very bullied. Question.
You're such a liar.
Was it your intention to suggest that you should be coming forward with statements that Miss Lively was a bully to other women? And Baldoni says, no, this had nothing to do with other women.
Oh, really?
This was just what this article was about.
Oh, really? You're such a liar. Listen, this guy who hides behind the Baha'i faith is lying.
Yeah.
And he is lying to this person's face.
Okay, but listen.
Yeah, but listen to this guy. This guy fucking goes around and puts his pretty face out there. He's Mr. Baha'i faith.
Don't worry.
He's Mr. Positivity.
He's not winning.
He is fucking a liar. He's a fucking bull-faced liar.
And it's very clear. Okay, so check this out.
Yeah.
Question. And this article, by its own words, is about Hailey Bieber's history of bullying many women.
Right.
And he said, yes, I see that.
Yeah. Do you?
And it was your suggestion that in some scenario where Miss Lively was to come forward with what you felt were lies about you, you would want to come forward in the press with allegations like those contained in this post that you sent? And he said, no, not exactly. So how would you correct that?
And why didn't you? Where's that text?
I know. Baldoni says, so if Miss Lively were to come forward with lies about me, which he has not alleged, because he said that everything...
He says were to.
Everything that he said that the CRD complaint was untrue, but when he's asked about all of her SH complaints, he says that those were truthful. Those things happened on set.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So if Miss Lively were to come forward with lies about me, says Baldoni, then I would want to come forward with my truth. So it was about me and my experience. I don't know what this article was about. I actually didn't read it. I saw it.
Well, I believe.
I saw it. I saw the word bullying.
Yeah, there you go.
At the time, I felt very bullied and scared and very alone.
Oh.
And we were planning for all
You
the
have
very...
you have a whole fucking group of people who pray for you on demand.
I know, he's got a whole team.
He's going to fucking, excuse me, people. Hurry, everyone. Justin's calling.
No,
he's
I know.
alone.
No, and he's
And
texting.
he lives in solitude.
These text messages are to his entire team.
Get the
People who's
fuck
working.
out of here. The guy just lives in a goddamn fucking delusion. It's unbelievable.
He's in a prison of his own making.
Alone. Alone in his, he's in a fucking, exactly. He's in a prison that he's created for himself.
At the time, I felt very bullied and scared and very alone, and we were planning for all the various things that could happen. That's why I said would as the operative word. This was a part of a scenario planning document, and the hope was that the movie was going to come out and everything was going to be fine and everyone was going to have success and we would never need anything, and that's the truth. And it would have happened that way. It would have happened that way. The movie was going to come out and everything was going to be fine and everything was going to and everyone was going to have success and that we would never need anything. If he had just sat on his hands and waited, that's exactly what would have happened.
Yep.
Blake Lively said that she wasn't even going to pursue any sort of legal, remedy for
because she didn't have
for
it.
the SH.
Because her SH wasn't litigious.
It was because he followed through with a retaliation scheme, a smear campaign.
Yeah.
That he's in this lawsuit.
Of course.
So the thing that he was worried about happening, he brought into being.
The lawsuit happened because of the fucking texts from Jen Abel.
Yeah. Where he's doing this, he's sending this kind of shit. This is what we would need. Fucking dummy. I don't understand this. Question. Is it your testimony that when you saw and sent this post to Jen Abel, you saw the word history of bullying, but you did not continue to read where it said many women? And Baldoni says, this had nothing to do with women. I don't know if Miss Lively
You're such a fucking liar.
I don't know if Miss Lively has bullied other women.
You're a liar.
So there you go. Guys, straight from Baldoni's mouth. He doesn't think, he has no knowledge of Miss Lively ever being a bully to other women. So when everybody is trying to defend Justin Baldoni by calling Blake Lively a bully to women, and that she bullies her way around everything else,
like
he actually
like Kirsty Flaw.
That never came from him. He is not concerned himself with that.
This fucking guy, bro. This fucking guy lies.
I don't know what you
under
guys
oath.
are doing.
This guy lies under oath. He does. That's my opinion.
I don't know if Miss Lively has bullied other women. Question. Did you read any press coverage that came out in August of 2024 that did accuse Miss Lively of bullying other women?
Motherfucker.
And Dale, settle down.
Well, he unleashed that shit.
I know.
With that fucking text to his fucking publicist, whose job it is to project that shit for him. He's a liar.
You and this lawyer are aligned.
Yeah.
So check this out. Did you read any press coverage that came out in August of 2024 that did accuse Miss Lively of bullying other women? And Baldoni says, later on, I did.
Oh, did you?
And Miss Shaw says, women including Kirsty Flaw, I believe. And Baldoni says, I learned about that name, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and women...
Kirsty's just alone in her sheets with that one.
Okay. It's terrible. Okay, and women including Leighton Meester. And Baldoni said, from Gossip Girl. The lawyer says, yes. Baldoni says, I didn't read anything about her being a bully to Leighton Meester. Okay, and are you aware that the article that Brianna Butler Coslow testified under oath in this case that she leaked and helped to plant in the Daily Mail about Miss Lively contained allegations that Miss Lively had bullied Kirsty Flaw and had bullied Leighton Meester? Dale, I didn't know about that.
Can you repeat it?
I didn't know about that. So Brianna Butler Coslow works for TAG.
Yeah.
I believe. She works for one of the publicists.
Okay.
Okay. The question is, are you aware that the article that Brianna Butler Coslow testified under oath in this case that she leaked and helped to plant in the Daily Mail about Miss Lively contained allegations that Miss Lively had bullied Kirsty Flaw and had bullied Leighton Meester?
No way.
So you know how we had been saying ever since the beginning that when he said that text, this is what we would need about Hailey Bieber bullying other women.
Yeah, that Kirsty Flaw came out with it 2 days later.
2 days later, she released that video. I was like, that was an order fulfilled. And look, the people who are working for his publicist that he hired planted a story in the Daily Mail about Miss Lively containing allegations that she had bullied Kirsty Flaw and Leighton Meester.
And that happened after he sent his text.
His own publicist did that.
Yeah, he's a liar. And he knew that that's what he wanted and that's what he got. He's a fucking liar and he's lying under oath. And I truly hope that she gets the largest budget, the largest judgment in history. I do. This guy's a fucking bold-faced liar.
Baldoni says...
He blew this whole thing up. He poured gasoline on it and he lit it aflame.
Yeah, I know it. Baldoni says, I was unaware of that. I also was unaware that she bullied Leighton Meester. Question, and you were unaware of that, even though that you here suggested that to Jen Abel that what you would need in the event that Miss Lively disclosed anything negative about you is articles similar to this one that says Hailey Bieber's history of bullying many women. And Baldoni says, I disagree with the way that question was phrased.
Yeah, I'm surprised that his lawyer didn't. I do too.
There was an objection, but it wasn't spoken. Okay. Ms. Shaw says, do you think that's a coincidence? Sorry, do you think that's just a coincidence? And Baldoni says that what is? And Ms. Shaw says that you suggested that you would need articles about similar to Hailey Bieber's history of bullying many women, and then tag the company that you employed as Crisis PR did in fact plant an article about Blake Lively bullying other women.
He's a liar. And let me tell you something that publicists do. They show their results.
Yes.
They do. They tell about them. They're on the phone with them or in their fucking signal saying,
when
dude.
he says this is what we would need, he is directing his publicist to do the work.
Yeah, they take credit for the hits. And, one of the things that publicists can struggle with is being able to take credits for their hits. Like a lot of clients would be like, oh, how do I know that came from you? They take inventory of the shit they know. And they put it as it's in the same way that, somebody might fulfill any other invoice, hey, you had all this work done on your card. Here it is itemized. That's one of the things that would be itemized in their reports to him in some way.
In this entire time frame, in the timeline where all of these text messages are going on, and they're apparently Brianna Kozlow is admitting that she's planting negative stories about Blake Lively. The thing that I find most stunning is that Justin Baldoni could have hired ethical publicists like Stephanie Jones to protect his reputation, but his publicists aren't working on that at all. They're only bashing Blake Lively because that's what their client wants. Stephanie Jones would have actually tried to improve his own reputation, and maybe he wouldn't have been dragged through the mud like he is now. Right? Like if he had somebody that was actually doing the work for him rather than bashing Blake Lively. Sorry. Okay. Are you with me?
I am. I'm with you.
Okay. So here's the question again. That you suggested that you would need articles about similar to Hailey Bieber's history of bullying many women, and then tag the company that you employed as Crisis PR did in fact plant an article about Blake Lively bullying other women. The question is, do you think that's a coincidence? And Justin Baldoni says, I don't think it's a coincidence that I felt bullied. And then it seems the internet dug up true stories.
Oh my God. You are a lying fucking pile of fucking nothing. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Baldoni says,
I can't go. I sat through a deposition. I don't know how. I sat through so many depositions. I don't know how I did it. I don't think I could do it today. If I was sitting across Leo right now, I'd be like, "Oh my God!" They'd be like, Dale, we're gonna have to have you leave. Dude, I'm leaving. Listen, I am leaving because I'm gonna.
But I remember from reading your depositions in your lawsuit with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom McGuire.
Yeah.
That that there are times where they complain, where the deponents are complaining to the lawyers about how UNRD are making faces.
Yeah.
So it does seem true. Like you were like barely restrained.
I definitely was. I was definitely sitting there wanting to jump across the fucking table and just choke a dude.
That's really funny. Okay. If you would permit me to finish this answer.
Yes. Oh my fucking God.
So she's saying, do you think it's a coincidence that you sent this text message saying this is what we would need, and then your fucking publicist planted a negative story that said
totally.
Exactly
it was just fucking the way it went down.
Exactly that. He said, I don't think it's a coincidence that I felt bullied, and then it seems the internet dug up true stories of how Miss Lively bullied other people. So it just shows that I wasn't the only one who was bullied.
That's not the answer to the question, motherfucker.
No, it's not.
You didn't answer the question. You know why? Because you're terrified.
It's not that the internet dug up stories. Brianna Kozlow says she planted stories.
She just planted a story on the internet. Yes. That wasn't the question, you fucking lying fool.
Okay. Ms. Shaw says, when you say, in quotes, the internet dug up stories, what do you mean by that?
Well, the internet is a thing. And you give it a shovel.
And because she knows exactly what that fucking means.
Yeah, fucking... Okay.
Baldoni says, it seems like people came forward with their own experiences of being bullied to the extent that I never had to. Okay.
Oh my God.
The attorney's asking, how does this fit in with the strategy that you were discussing with Miss Abel and Tag about promoting positive coverage of the film?
Thank you. I've been waiting for that. Oh, I want to choke him.
He says, how does this fit in? She says, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
He says this is part of a, like I said earlier, a what happens if scenario.
Oh, is it?
So Ms. Shaw is asking, so if positive doesn't work, then you would move to something like this? And he says, if positive doesn't work, how? And Ms. Shaw says, what do you mean when you say, in quotes, this is part of a what happens if scenario? And Baldoni has a long answer. Okay. So sit on your hands.
I have to drink water. Hang on. No, you can go ahead. I'll do this. Yeah, it's good.
What do you mean when you say this is part of a what happens if scenario?
What do you mean?
Justin Baldoni says, as I testified earlier, if Miss Lively were to capitalize on her threats that her and Mr. Reynolds made through her agent to my agent, to me, and plant negative stories, which I was told she already was doing.
He has no direct conversation with anybody. Did you hear what he just said?
Yes.
He just said, through this person to the next person that got to me, this is what he, and then his interpretation of that, which is obviously crazy whacked. Like fucking out of this world.
Yes.
But there it is right there. He didn't even hear it from Blake Lively. And you know what he was? A coward. Too much of a coward to actually fucking approach Blake Lively in one form or another. We have texts, we have emails, we have direct calls to her agent where you could say, hey, is this fucking true?
Yes,
no, he just ate it up like it was fucking...
He never asked her.
Like a birthday cake.
He was like, hey, this seems like it's going off the rails. Maybe I should check in with my old
Maybe
friend.
I'll just check it with the person...
With my old friend Blake Lively, who used to collaborate so
fucking
nicely
insanity. And then I'll just burn the whole house down based on something that somebody said to somebody else who then said it to me.
When he said that he's really most worried about making sure that the film is promoted well.
Positively.
Yeah, he doesn't care about
positivity.
that. Evidently, he's not thinking about that at all. Okay.
Whew.
Okay.
Man, this guy's got me on my
room?
Huh?
Are you gonna have to leave the room?
I think I'm going to try to get myself... I'm just, whatever. We'll see.
Ms. Shaw says, what do you mean when you say this is part of a what happens if scenario? Justin Baldoni says, as I testified earlier, if Miss Lively were to capitalize on her threats that her and Mr. Reynolds made through her agent to my agent to me.
Sent by a quo.
Yeah. And plant negative stories, which I was told she already was doing, such as I'm part of a cult or that I'm a predator, and continued to come forward with lies, then we would have to have some sort of plan. As they are Hollywood titans, and I'm very clearly a nobody as it relates, or at least what they feel I am, or what my former agency thought of me, as I was also dropped very quickly per their request.
Can we just take a moment and just feel some sadness and some sympathy for Justin Baldoni, who is a nobody?
If these are Hollywood titans, why are you trying to go to war with them?
Why wouldn't you want to take the olive branches and sit down?
Why aren't you trying to mediate?
Yeah.
And avoid a conflict?
Yeah.
It's astonishing.
Particularly over the set of facts that are introduced into this thing. Like we're talking about like nobody lost anything.
I know.
Like nobody would have lost anything except he lost some friends that he didn't even have in the first place.
He's ready to go to war with these people who he calls Hollywood titans, and he's a nobody.
Yeah.
And he's saying if they come out with press, and he's in trouble for it. I mean, this is the retaliation that he is being sued for. So he got himself into a fight with them before when he was paranoid about being in a fight with them.
They're incapable of doing anything properly. They are the most incompetent. When I say they, it's him and Jamie Heath, the two bumbling brothers. They can't get anything right. They cannot do a single fucking thing right. They can't. He is the kind of guy, like this happens a lot in Hollywood, where actors want to be much more than they are. And there are just some actors who are not capable of it.
Dude, there's a lot of people who aren't capable of it. I
Of
could
course.
never do the job.
It's not a slight on them,
Right.
especially since I truly think that Justin Baldoni is talented. I thought that the work he did in It Ends With Us had, merit. His acting work, right? He is incapable of doing anything beyond that.
He's probably just incapable
without causing this kind of harm.
He probably is just incapable of having of receiving any criticism whatsoever, which is not something that will carry you through Hollywood.
Yeah, you have to have thick ass skin.
So I don't know how he ever auditioned.
Bro, I've had my
got rejected?
I've had my work spit on practically
Right.
in front of my face.
Well, that's
just
why
the other day, a person, yesterday on somebody started attacking me about Andy Signor and how much my movie sucked and all this other stuff, and
you gotta have thick skin for that.
You can't even.
But I guess that's
think
why
about
he started his own company, so he wouldn't have to deal with other people. Okay, listen, I'm not through with his answer. Can I just finish this?
Keep going.
Okay, he said, as I testified earlier, if Miss Lively were to capitalize on her threats that her and Mr. Reynolds made through her agent to my agent to me, and plant negative stories which I was told she already was doing, such as I'm a part of a cult or that I'm a predator, and continue to come forward with lies, then we would have to have some sort of plan. And as they are Hollywood titans, and I'm very clearly a nobody as it relates, or at least what they feel I am, or what my former agency thought of me, as I was also dropped very quickly per their request. So we need some sort of plan if someone is attacking you with big guns and missiles and dropping bombs on you. In our day and age, you can't just die. I have a family I have to protect. I have a company that I started. So we were planning for what would happen if she were to attack me and to lie about me and hurt my reputation. That's all it was. Who ended up hurting Justin Baldoni's reputation, do you think?
Can you believe it?
Who was it that was responsible for harming the crystalline reputation?
What sucks is that he burns everybody in the process.
The purity.
This guy has no concept of reality, and he burns everything in sight as he loses his complete grasp
the way
of
that
any rationality.
The hyperbole is astounding.
It's astounding.
That he does not have a conflict, and he says
that he can't.
So we need some sort of plan if someone is attacking you with big guns and missiles and dropping bombs on you.
And
in our day and age, you can't just die. What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You made her uncomfortable on the set is all you're worried about. Who are the big guns and missiles and bombs?
She didn't even have...
Who's gonna fucking die?
She didn't even have good enough complaints to sue you with.
I know.
Until you turned this into a goddamn war, until you decided in this fucking madness where you're being bombed like some kind of Pink Floyd fucking movie.
The paranoia is off the fucking charts with this guy. I don't know why he was... So people are like, oh, mountain out of molehill. He's like... Hiroshima bomb out of like a tiff.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, out of a guy who didn't shake his hand.
Yeah.
That guy didn't shake my hand. We're going to kill everybody in this city.
I can't believe he doesn't hear himself. So we would need some sort of plan if someone is attacking you with big guns and missiles and dropping bombs on you. In our day and age, you can't just die. I have a family I have to protect.
Look, the truth is that what he probably understood, and there's some truth to this, is that he had broken into A-list level, and his first role in the A-list world was an abomination, and that was going to get rumored through Hollywood, no doubt. It didn't mean he was never going to work again. It didn't mean that at all. It meant that he was going to work again and again and again and again and again after a $340 million movie hits the fucking... And if he can continue on the same kind of luck streak that he's had up until that point, with 5 Feet Apart, with the documentary before that, he would or could have ended up, not just on his feet. Like, you can have disputes in Hollywood. You can have them.
Yeah.
There are lines that get crossed.
People get into litigation all the time.
Exactly. And you don't even have to, it doesn't even have to be litigated. I mean, again, he...
No, but I'm saying, like, that's
it's not like
as extreme as it gets.
It's not like this is their first fucking lawsuit.
It's not even Baldoni's first lawsuit.
It's the third at this point.
He has won, he's, skated through settling and
but knowing that settlements
killing every lawsuit that's come his way.
Yeah, so his lawyers did all the work.
That's a really good point. Like, why is he not a little bit more self-assured about this? It's really weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to continue.
Please.
See, this is why we're reading the Jonesworks case. Because all of this stuff is revealed.
Manderly says, Baldoni sounds like a boomer with a gun collection who watched Patton too many times. That's really fucking funny.
Perfect.
I love Patton, by the way.
What his problem is. Okay.
I only saw it maybe twice.
So the attorney is not even addressing that big, long, hyperbolic tirade, okay?
Because it's utter nonsense, and just hope he doesn't understand.
She's just going to continue with her questioning about this ridiculous text message that's going to bury him, okay?
Yeah.
Question, and under that text where you sent Jen Abel the screenshot of the article about Hailey Bieber, Jen Abel responds, and she's reading, this is a quote, "Yes, I literally just spoke to Melissa about this on the break about what we discussed last night for social and digital." And then she says, in quotes, "Focus on Reddit, TikTok, IG, Instagram." Do you see that? He said, "I do." Okay, she mentions, in quotes, "what we discussed last night for social and digital." Is that a discussion that you were a part of? And Baldoni says, "I have honestly no idea what she's talking about here, so I don't think I was a part of that call. I don't think she's inferring that her and I discussed anything." Question, did you and she discuss anything about this? And he said, not that, no, not like that. I don't remember any conversations with Jen about this. Do you recall any conversations with Jen or Melissa about social or digital strategy? And Baldoni says, no, I was very hard to reach during this time. Most of my communication was via text, which the world has.
I would just shout up into the vortex, and if you could get within the sound waves, you could get my message.
Because he was so alone, but everybody was trying to reach him. That's his story.
Yeah, he was alone because he's fucking alienating himself.
Yeah, because he's made up a scenario in which he's like at war already and nothing's happened to him.
God damn, this guy's crazy.
Question, do you understand what the words social and digital mean in that context? And Baldoni says, I would have assumed they mean the same thing, so I don't know. I still don't know the difference between social and digital because social is inherently digital, so I don't know. Question, do you understand that social means social media? He said, yes. Okay, on the internet is the question. Baldoni says, hence it's digital, which is what I mean with what I said. Like, social media is digital, so I don't know what digital is. Question, do you understand that social and digital, including things like Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram, I guess it's a typo. There's just a single H. Did you understand that social and digital included things like Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram? And his answer is, I didn't know anything about Reddit, but I would assume that included TikTok and Instagram. Okay. Do you recall ever having a conversation with either Jen or Melissa after you sent this Hailey Bieber post where you explained to them that you didn't mean planting stories about Blake bullying other women? You meant coming forward with stories about Blake bullying you? And Baldoni says, I don't remember any conversation. I know Jen and I were together during press somewhere around this time. And I know Jen knew I was very clear that I wanted to do nothing that would harm Miss Lively or this film.
You're a liar.
And that the only times we would only do anything is if we were attacked. And we were attacked, and she still didn't do anything.
You weren't attacked. And she still didn't do anything.
And she still didn't do anything.
So even though we planned to do it, we didn't do it.
He says he's not even involved. He doesn't have conversations. He's like in and out. He still thinks she didn't do anything. He doesn't know, but he's sure she didn't do anything.
So what were you paying them for? What were
you paying $30K a month for?
What were you paying for?
Okay.
They're just meant to do nothing.
Next question. But do you recall ever having any communication with either Jen or Melissa where you explained to them, when I sent you this post about Hailey Bieber, I wasn't suggesting stories about Blake Lively bullying other women. I was suggesting coming forward with my experience about Blake bullying me.
You're a liar.
And his question is, did you ever explain that to them? I'm sorry. That's the attorney is saying after an objection. Sorry, that's why I got screwed up. Did you ever explain that to them? Baldoni says, I think it was very clear in my relationship with Jen that she knew exactly what I meant when I sent this.
So it's in the clouds. It's all interpretation. I don't have to use any kind of comprehensive language tool. I just have to be able to they know, they can feel the vibe within me. And they understand that when I send them an article saying, set this up so that she's bullying women, what I really mean is that she's bullying me, that they would understand to be correct. He's a fucking liar.
He said, we got this on social and digital. We were just talking about this.
What
about him
a
saying,
liar.
this is what we would need, as if that is not him placing an order.
Come on.
So he says, I think it was very clear in my relationship with Jen that she knew exactly what I meant when I sent this, and that there was never a directive to do anything. So I would be very surprised if anything was actually done.
Oh my God. You're doomed. You're doomed. This is what we would need. Mm-hmm. Get out of here. Get out of here, dude. That's a directive.
Yeah.
That is a directive.
I know. Why would you be sending that to your team who works for you?
There's no like
who's getting paid to do stuff for you.
He's lying. He's a liar.
I know. They were talking about strategy, and he sent that to them. Why would he think that's not a directive?
It's a bold-faced lie. There's no other way to look at that. If I was sitting on a jury, I would snort. I would blow whatever I was eating or swallowing through my nostrils and out my nose.
That's very elaborate.
Yeah, that's what would happen. Though I'd be like, and it would just all come out, and then tears and chunks of whatever. Awful.
He says, so I would be very surprised if anything was actually done. Miss Shaw says, but do you recall having any conversations or communications with her or Melissa where you expressed that? And he's like, that specific thing? And she's like, yeah. And Baldoni says, I don't have any specific recollections of that. Okay. Miss Shaw continues, when Jen Abel says, and she's quoting, this is a quote, I literally just spoke to Melissa about this on the break, about what we discussed last night for social and digital. Do you have any understanding about what was the substance of Jen's conversation with Melissa on this topic? And Baldoni says, I wasn't on the call, so I don't know.
Why would she tell you that?
Is this the... I know.
Why would she tell you that? That's not true.
We discussed
That's not
last
true.
night.
She's
I just spoke to
specifying
Melissa
a conversation she had with him.
With him.
For sure.
I just spoke to Melissa about this on the break, about what we discussed. She's not talking about Melissa.
No. She is not talking about Melissa.
He's lying.
He wants to know you can bury her. That's the conversation.
Buried, yeah.
She wants to know. I bet you that's the conversation that he is now hiding.
He said,
behind I don't think so. No.
Yeah. He said, I wasn't on the call, so I don't know. Ms. Shaw is asking, is this the only idea that you ever expressed to either Jen or Melissa or anyone at TAG about how you might combat stories that Blake and Ryan might come forward with that you believed were lies? And he said, I don't know. I'm not sure. Do you recall discussing the potential around stories that Blake and Ryan crossed the picket line or otherwise violated the writer's strike by rewriting certain scenes in the movie? He said, I think I do, yes. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall communicating to Jen and Melissa that one idea might be flipping the narrative on Ryan to make it seem like when he rewrote the rooftop scene in the movie...
Yeah.
He was mansplaining how to write a script to a female script writer.
Let me show you how it's done, toots.
Baldoni says, I don't remember exactly what you said, no. And she said, well, how do you remember it?
I love this lawyer, dude.
I know, me too.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yes.
She is fantastic.
I know. She's winning her case. Okay. Baldoni said, I remember that an article came out, or essentially it was like a source said, that Ryan thought the script was...
The source close to Blake Lively says...
Yeah, right. A source close to Baldoni, more like it. Mm-hmm. I remember that an article came out, or essentially it was like a source said that Ryan thought the script was a disaster and that he had to save it. So they were putting out articles that were basically saying that the film was a mess and he had to come in and save it. And I believe we had learned at the premiere, at least I had learned, the following day I was doing an interview and I was told that Miss Lively said that Mr. Reynolds wrote the rooftop scene, which was news to me as the director. And in the moment, instead of saying that didn't happen to the people/person, I just said how great Ryan was. I didn't want to say anything to contradict that. But there was already
So you lied. So you just lied.
But there was already an existing narrative that was out there. And so I do remember passing on a message from my partner, Steve Sarowitz, who had suggested something to that effect. Because essentially, if the script was a mess, then he would be saying that the writer, who was a female who worked her ass off for years on this to get it right, clearly didn't know what she was doing, which I completely disagreed with.
You're such a liar.
He made up a narrative, and he's like, but I disagree with it.
He made up a complete narrative, and then he disagreed with his own goddamn fiction.
Yeah, okay. So Baldoni continues. So,
he's a sociopath,
So
man.
flipping a narrative was meant... So flipping a narrative was meant an existing narrative that was already being put out by, I would say, the other side. And here's another thing, dude.
It's the Democrats.
If he had an ethical publicist, they would not be entertaining conversations with him about flipping the narrative on his opponents.
Stephanie Jones would have rejected this shit.
She would have said, listen, we're
not
going to
doing
focus
that.
on you
Yeah.
and your successes.
Correct.
And how wonderful of a director you are that you got to wade through all of this bullshit and then succeed. That's what we're going to do. Because that's what an ethical publicist
If it's meritless, it'll all come out in the wash. Just be careful. Just be. Look, you're going to make a bunch of money. Everything's going to be fine.
So he's telling his publicist, what if we flip the narrative and make Ryan Reynolds look worse in this situation? And they were like,
in a completely made up scenario.
And they're like, I love it. We're definitely going to go.
You got a talent for this, Mr. Baldoni.
You got a talent for smearing people. Let's make sure it's all secret so we don't get caught. Okay. All right.
No fingerprints.
So flipping the narrative was meant an existing narrative that was already being put out by, I would say, the other side. Question. What did the fact that the writer was a female have anything to do with any of that? Baldoni says, well, again, I was passing on a text message from my business partner who was suggesting flipping the narrative.
Oh, see how he blames everybody? No, I didn't hire anybody. I believe that would be way
I didn't
fairer.
even think it was a good idea.
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
Along.
It was Steve Sarowitz. Yeah. He's just fucking pointing his finger. Mm-hmm. Oh, I said that, but I didn't say do it. So if they did it, I'd be very surprised if they did it. They did it.
Yeah, right.
The people he hired, the people he sent the directive to.
He's a director. Right.
What a fucking idiot. This guy's a fucking half-witted idiot. Hello, Lemon Kate. It's good to see you again. I hope you don't mind that I'm fucking shouting into the microphone today, but this guy's got me thoroughly fucking pissed off.
Question. Before we leave this Exhibit 17, I may have asked you this before, but for the record, do you have any recollection of discussing any of the scenario planning that was going on that we were just talking about with Stephanie Jones? And Baldoni says, I don't have any recollection of talking with Stephanie Jones about scenario planning. Question. Are you aware of whether anyone at Wayfair ever had any conversations with Stephanie Jones about the type of scenario planning that you were discussing with Jen Abel and Tag? And he said, I'm unaware. Okay, I am handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 18. It's a text thread between you, Melissa, Jen Abel. It's dated August 15th. So this is about...
days after the premiere.
Less than a week after the premiere.
Correct.
Okay? August 15th, 2024. Is this the idea from your partner, Steve Sarowitz, about flipping the narrative that you were just discussing flipping the narrative about? And Baldoni wants a minute to read it. So the question, he's finished.
What is it? What's the exhibit? God damn it.
It is Exhibit 18.
And do you know who's involved in the exhibit?
Yes, it is. He is talking to, I think it's Melissa Nathan. Maybe it's Jen Abel. But anyway, he's like, hey, my partner Steve had this really great idea about flipping the narrative on Ryan Reynolds and making him into a scab who crossed the picket line, and also that he is dragging the female screenwriter and says she sucks.
Yeah, because they tell
he
you...
said we should 100% go with that. But I'm sure she's going to ask...
Believe it or not, there's like...
yeah, this attorney is going to quote all
17s.
of it through this questioning. Okay?
Okay, great.
Okay. Question. Is this the idea from your partner, Steve Sarowitz, about flipping the narrative that you were just discussing flipping the narrative about? And he said, he's reading it. He said, okay. So the question again is, so is this the substance of that idea that you were just talking about that came from your partner, Steve Sarowitz, about flipping the script? And he said, yes.
Ooh.
Question. And that included flipping the script from Ryan saying, and she's reading, this is a quote, script was a disaster, and he saved the movie to something about Ryan claiming the female hired was a feminist writer, didn't know how to tackle a female film, etc. Do you see that? He said yes. Question. This idea that this was a female writer and a female film, and that what Ryan Reynolds was saying was essentially misogynistic, did that come from Steve Sarowitz? And Baldoni says, I think I said here that my partner Steve has asked about this, so I was passing that along. Question. So this idea, something about Ryan claiming the female hired was a feminist writer, didn't know how to tackle a female film, etc., came from Steve? And Baldoni says, that was what was passed on to me.
You're such a scapegoat, dude.
He isn't even saying that's what he passed on to me. He's using the most passive verbs possible.
He's the most scapegoating motherfucker.
A bird flew by and it fell out of the sky and it just landed on me.
It was a piece of paper. It did this. The whole just kept going. Then it landed in my lap like a miracle.
It appeared in a dream. That was what was passed on to me.
It's the rustling of the oak tree.
Question. Did you use any judgment about whether or not that was a good idea before you passed it along? And Baldoni says, I think it's implied in him saying the script was a disaster, so I just pass it along. I didn't disagree with him. You didn't disagree with Mr. Sarowitz's idea. Is that what you mean? And Baldoni says, I didn't disagree with what Mr. Sarowitz was saying in terms of what Ryan was inferring when he called the script a disaster.
Inferring. How many times? I should have been keeping score. This guy brings no actual fucking substance at all.
I know, you like take a shot.
He's
every
calling
time
it
he says
an inference.
An inference. You know what's interesting is that we just learned
something as disastrous as this. Can you imagine deciding that somebody's inferring something as utterly heinous as this guy
Listen,
mistreating a feminist.
I don't doubt that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively believed the script was a disaster. But what we just learned from reading Blake Lively's testimony in her deposition is that Justin Baldoni, when she asked to read the revised script, do you remember this? And she said, just make sure that you give me a draft with stars on it.
Yeah.
And she explains that a draft with stars on it means that if a change has been made from the original script that she read and signed on to the project on, that in this new draft, a little star would be by it, so she would know what change has been made. And Baldoni, according to her, said, if I gave you a draft now, I'm like 15 drafts past the one that you signed on for. I've done like 15 drafts of revisions. He said that if I gave you a draft with stars on it, the entire thing would be covered in stars. So Baldoni knows that the script that Ryan Reynolds is allegedly saying is a disaster is the script he rewrote and revised so much that it would be covered in stars. That is Justin Baldoni's script.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he wants everybody to believe that when Ryan Reynolds said the script was a disaster, the one that he is responsible for, he wants that to be the female screenwriter's script and not his own.
It was such a great fucking point. He's completely
He's the one
stepping
who's
over the
turning
fact that he
script into
rewrote it from top to bottom in his own words.
Baldoni is the one who's saying that the disastrous script belongs to Christy Hall, even though he knows that it's his script.
Or that he did all these revisions to it. Listen, I mean, you can make a lot of very small changes to a line, and it would be a starred line.
Okay.
So, but again, the starred. Actually, that's not true because the starred.
After 15 drafts, do you think?
No, the starred.
Do you think really
the starred stuff
resembles?
would be like specific to things that actually changed substantively, not like
Oh, okay.
Like I deleted a couple of words from a sentence. That wouldn't constitute like a star
Right.
in terms of like wanting to like, oh, you better read this and approve it. But I will say that like some people might look at this and think, well, this isn't all that important that Justin Baldoni would go and do this rewrite. And then,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I am seeing.
No, I know what you're saying. What you're saying is brilliant.
What I'm saying is there's a pattern of behavior where when somebody offers Justin Baldoni a criticism,
Yes.
of any kind,
Yes.
from any direction,
Correct.
the criticism is on someone else. He has to deflect it. It can't be his. If somebody is criticizing him, it's always somebody else they're criticizing instead. He can't take it.
It's not even criticizing if somebody's like confronting, if it's a confrontation.
right.
Like not just a criticism. Like in this situation, he's being confronted with what she knows, this lawyer knows, to be his participation in.
Yeah.
Right? A smear campaign against Ryan Reynolds.
But
that's what that is.
It's Steve Sarowitz.
That's smear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and the other thing is that he doesn't know that just because Steve Sarowitz is the one that shot the gun doesn't mean that he's not involved in the murder. You know?
Justin Baldoni said, I didn't disagree with him.
There you go. What
He
was inferred?
But he was just passing it along.
It was inferred. It was something that he says was inferred. That there was no empirical evidence behind any of it. In other words, Ryan Reynolds never ever said anything remotely close to.
He never did.
I fucking bowled over this stupid feminist chick.
writer doesn't know how to handle a female-led movie.
Yes. What kind of feminist are you?
That came out of Steve Sarowitz and Baldoni's brain. Okay. Baldoni says, I didn't disagree with what Mr. Sarowitz was saying in terms of what Ryan was inferring when he called the script a disaster. Sorry, I'm slurring a little. Let me get it.
I know exactly what he was inferring. He was inferring that the fucking script wasn't finished. It's not that it's so funny because these guys know better. They know that the script isn't a disaster and that instead there's just a lot more writing to do. They know that.
Okay. Question. Meaning... The attorney's asking, meaning that Ryan was essentially acting misogynistically? And Baldoni said, one could infer if he's saying the script was a disaster.
Do you see the desperation that they make and the lies that he tells himself to the extent that he probably believes them? You could probably hook this fucking, like, this incessant liar to a fucking polygraph and he'd probably pass it.
One could infer.
And there's nothing. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard. It's so stupid. It's so left field. It's ridiculous.
I know. Listen.
Like, if a woman writes a script who's a feminist, you can't be critical of the script because it means automatically if you are, that you are against feminists.
He is hoping that someone does infer. He's hoping his publicists reach the people who could infer this exact interpretation of what the situation is.
That is pure madness.
One could infer, yeah, he hopes, right?
That is just madness. It's madness.
Okay. One could infer if he's saying the script was a disaster, and Miss Shaw continues, and one could infer that simply from the fact that it was a female writer who wrote the script. And Baldoni says, and a female author, female writer, and yeah. Question: did you rewrite?
What a delusional fucking mess.
She's on the same path I was on. Did you rewrite any portions of the script that the female scriptwriter wrote? And Baldoni says, did I rewrite any portions of the script? Along with Miss Lively, I did, yes. And Baldoni said, I'm sorry, and the attorney is asking.
Notice how he's already starting to shift it to.
Yeah.
You see what he's saying?
Now he's going to fucking scapegoat Blake Lively.
Now he's going to scapegoat Blake Lively.
This guy.
He's a coward.
I know.
This guy's an ultra coward.
He wants to be Teflon so bad.
Yeah, dude. He can't even stand in his own boots.
Okay. Do you think that it can be inferred from that you were acting misogynistic because it was a female book author and a female scriptwriter, and you were a man who was tinkering with that script? And Baldoni says, I wish I didn't tinker with that script, but I had no choice. Miss Shaw says...
Didn't answer the question.
He didn't answer the question.
Didn't answer the fucking question.
He did have a choice. He chose to tinker with the script, but that doesn't make him a misogynist. That only makes Ryan Reynolds a misogynist for doing the same thing.
No, because he's a liar. He's a liar, and he creates this fucking ridiculous scenario around his lie in order to justify his actions, which are hideous.
Okay. Ms. Shaw is saying, and then the text message thread goes on to say, and she's reading. This is, I guess, a quote from him. Okay.